problems for a troubled
Earthquake.
singer. Yep,
We're having an earthquake. Okay, it appears to have stopped.
Who cares? Who cares? But I had to have, it was a 2-day procedure, Thursday and Friday, and then I wasn't supposed to fly because of the pressure, whatever. So I didn't get to go to Skankfest, and it's a super big bummer. I love going to comedy festivals. I'll be at a comedy festival this Sunday in Sydney, Australia, the Just for Laughs Comedy Festival. I'll be headlining a show, 2 shows. Anyway, our show after Thanksgiving is already sold out, so thanks to everybody who got tickets. And to those who didn't get tickets, I'll see you. Our next show in Los Angeles is January 30th at the Comedy Store. So we're going to be at the Comedy Store January 30th. See you there. Is there a link up on the website already?
Yes.
So go to jimmydore.com for a link for those tickets. And they're going to go fast because we're in the belly room. So, which I don't know. I think it's like something like 70, 80 tickets, right?
Yeah, I think it's 70.
So it's going to be an intimate, small crowd. So everybody's going to have a great seat. It's going to be real close. And January 30th. Is that a Friday? Pretty sure that's a Friday. It is raining in Los Angeles. January 30th? Is it a Saturday?
Friday, you're right.
It's a Friday. I was right. Okay. So the big news today is Trump has caved on the Epstein files. Trying to slander, discredit, smear, primary Thomas Massie and Marjorie Taylor Greene. He was saying stuff like this. Did Thomas Massie, sometimes referred to as Rand Paul Jr. because of the fact he always votes against the Republican Party, get married already? Boy, that was quick. Wow, that's how desperate he was. That's how bad it got. And now, guess what? Trump calls on House Republicans to vote to release Epstein files. Whoa, Trump is a lot like the weather in Florida. Because if you don't like the weather, just wait a minute. That's what they say in Florida, right? So anything Trump decides usually lasts about as long as Nicolas Cage's money, if you know what I'm talking about. So now Trump is totally flip-flopped, and this signals a lot of things. And the biggest thing it signals is that Trump has lost control of MAGA. That 99% of MAGA wanted those Epstein files released, except for the people being paid to post. People like Cat Turd has completely lost his mind and credibility. He went from calling out neocons to doing the bidding of people like that. I mean to single out Cat Turd. There's plenty of influencers doing that. And Cat Turd has just do some great work. I still like it. I still like a lot of the stuff, but this is nuts. What's going on? And now, after maligning everybody, wanting the Epstein files, now Trump turned on them. So all those people doing the bidding of Trump and slandering Thomas Massie, slandering Marjorie Taylor Greene, slandering anybody who wanted the Epstein files released, now Trump just threw them under the bus. I didn't throw them under the bus. I didn't throw Cat Turd under the bus. Trump did. So now Trump is completely flip-flopped. And what this means is that he doesn't have control. And that people no longer fear him threatening to primary them. People no longer fear him not endorsing them. And that within 10 months, Donald Trump has wrecked his coalition. He has smashed it, and now his coalition, doing what good citizens do, are holding their politicians accountable. You're not supposed to be. People like to say, "Oh, you're not loyal." Marjorie Taylor Greene, Rand Paul, Thomas Massie, they're not loyal to Trump. Candace Owens, not loyal to Trump. You're not supposed to be loyal to a politician. The politician is supposed to be loyal to you. You're supposed to be loyal to principles, policies, and ideals. And if a politician lines up with those, great. We'll all work together. And when a politician does it, you pressure that politician and you call that politician out. Being loyal to a politician is called a cult. That's what a cult does. That's why you guys hated the Democrats the last 4 years. The big reason was because they were in a cult, because they couldn't tell you the truth, and they were loyal to Joe Biden. They were saying he was smart. What was he? Sharp and what? Not sharp and effective, but sharp and something.
Right. Coherent, sharp.
What is it?
Sharp and focused.
Sharp and focused.
Oh, good.
They would say he is sharp and focused. So could you cut out me pausing? Thank you. They would say he's sharp and focused. And Joe Scarborough would say, and if you don't think this is the best version of Joe Biden, F you. He said that on the cable news. F you. So now people are doing the same things, the same kind of cultish, sycophantic behavior for Donald Trump. And now Donald Trump just threw all those people under this is the equivalent of Joe Biden coming out saying, I'm demented. In the middle of everybody, right after Joe Scarborough said, F you, this is the best version of Joe Biden ever. That's the equivalent. He just threw all those people under the bus. All the people saying, so U.S. President Donald Trump, and it marks the end of, so it is no longer a death sentence to oppose Donald Trump vehemently, loudly, and it's no longer a death sentence in the Republican Party to fear him not supporting your reelection, endorsing you, or to fear him trying to recruit people to primary him. Right now, there's 3 Zionist donors that are trying to that are funding the primary of Thomas Massie. U.S. President Trump has urged lawmakers in his own party to vote to release files relating to the late convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. Trump wrote on Sunday night that Republicans in the House should do so because we have nothing to hide. So when Trump says he has nothing to hide, I think that means he knows you're going to find out, and he has to pretend he doesn't care. That's what I think that means. Trump, in the striking reversal for Trump, after weeks of saying the clamor for a vote on the release was a Democratic-driven distraction and a hoax. He called it a hoax. So that's what I think. I think at this stage of societal decline, him saying that he has nothing to hide could just mean that we find out and he doesn't care. Huh. Does Trump have some kind of advanced technology that allows him to travel back in time and not go to Epstein's Island? Is that what's happening here? Here's his tweet about it. As I said on Friday night aboard Air Force One to the fake news media, House Republicans should vote to release the Epstein files because we have nothing to hide. Nobody cared about Jeffrey Epstein when he was alive. Oh boy, did they. Oh boy, did they care. From presidents to prime ministers to the head of Wall Street to the head of Harvard to Noam Chomsky. Everybody cared about Jeffrey Epstein. Everybody, including Donald Trump. If the Democrats had anything, they would have released it before our landslide election victory. Okay. So here is Thomas Massie tweets this out after months of fighting and disparaging my Epstein legislation. Now that my discharge, so Thomas Massie him and Ro Khanna had come up with this petition that they wanted voted on, which is looks like it's going to be voted on now. today, if you're tomorrow, if you're seeing it on a video, this meaning Tuesday of this week, it's going to be voted on now, and they had the numbers. There was going to be many defectors from Trump's coalition, and they were going to go ahead and vote for this discharge position to have the administration release all the Epstein files. So Trump knew he lost. And so that's why he's doing this. And so after months of fighting and disparaging my Epstein legislation, now that my discharge petition has succeeded, Speaker Johnson says he tried to pass the law by unanimous consent. If that's so, he should have no problem voting yay next week. Listen to his own words. So let's listen to what he has to say.
I want to say this tonight, and I think this is a shame to a lot of the Hill Press Corps. I'm not going to name any of you by name, but I haven't seen many stories written yet about the fact that we put the discharge up for unanimous consent on the floor tonight. The Republicans, the Speaker, and the Republicans asked for unanimous consent to just go ahead and pass the discharge because I think it's a moot point.
Okay, so now Speaker Johnson's being a politician, and he's lying and spinning, which is what politicians do. And so why he wanted a unanimous consent on this discharge petition is because then you can't say who voted for it. Everybody voted for it. The Democrats voted it down, the unanimous consent, because they want them on the record. Just like with forced to vote. We wanted the Democrats on the record, voting for or against Medicare for all. We wanted them on the record. That's what they're doing to their... And so he's trying to pretend like, why don't they just want a unanimous consent? Because they have the votes. That's why. And now we want to put everybody on record who's voting for it. That's what this is about.
The Democrats objected to the unanimous consent. Nobody's written a story about that. That's stunning to me. How can you miss that? If it was about...
Well, I'm right. I'm doing a story about it right now. Doing a story about it right now. I've seen a lot of other people do stories about it right now. So...
Transparency. If it was about full disclosure, there's two questions you should ask every Democrat in the House and Senate. Why didn't you bring this up during the 4 years of the Biden administration when the Biden DOJ had all these records the entire time? Nobody ever said a word about it. They didn't care. Now it's the biggest thing in the world. Didn't matter at all.
Well, there's probably several reasons for that. One of them that they were protecting their donors. Also AIPAC pressure, things like that. But people who don't take money from AIPAC, namely Marjorie Taylor Greene, Thomas Massie, does Rand Paul take money from AIPAC? It'd be interesting to find that out. But those people who don't take money from AIPAC stood up, and they won the debate. Because why? Because 99% of MAGA base wants these things, wants the Epstein files released.
When Joe Biden had the files. And secondly, if they're for transparency and they really want all this to be out and there's such this urgency, then why did they vote down the unanimous consent to pass the discharge petition tonight?
Because they want to get you on record. So that's Speaker Johnson pretending to be all earnest and honest and above board. And of course, he's actually spinning to try to gaslight you. So that's what he's doing.
I can't answer that question, but they should.
I just did.
And every one of you should ask him about it. Yes.
I just did. Here's Thomas Massie, and he's going to further tell you that Trump's power is diminished.
The president's gone after you in some deeply personal ways. I mean, attacking you over and over again, even attacking you for regarding your wedding, your recent wedding, which, by the way, congratulations. What do you make of all that? And he's obviously supporting your primary opponents. I mean, what kind of retribution are you facing?
You know, my wife told me, she said, "I told you so. We should have invited Donald Trump. He's mad that he didn't get an invitation." So we're taking it with a grain of salt. He's being a bully or trying to be a bully. And they're trying to beat me here in Kentucky. But here's what's interesting. The people financing this campaign consist completely of 3 billionaires, and they're all in the Epstein class. In fact, one of them is named in Epstein's phone book.
Bam! So those are the people who are trying to primary Thomas Massie, 3 billionaires. One of them in Epstein's phone book.
Not the secret files that the FBI is keeping, but in Epstein's phone book. So it's a small world. Dogs don't bark at parked cars, and we are winning. I'm not tired of winning yet, but we are winning. And not only the speaker, but the attorney general, the FBI director, and the president himself and the vice president, they're taking a big loss this week because after months of fighting, I am winning this week with Ro Khanna. We're forcing this vote, and it's going to happen. I would remind my Republican colleagues who are deciding how to vote, Donald Trump can protect you in red districts right now by giving you an endorsement. But
I disagree. I think what this shows, Donald Trump caving, is that he no longer has that kind of power. He can no longer, it's already gone.
in 2030, he's not going to be the president, and you will have voted to protect pedophiles if you don't vote to release these files, and the president can't protect you then.
He can't protect them now, and this vote proves it. The fact that Speaker Johnson is spinning his head off, the fact that Trump has completely flip-flopped, done a 180, and said, no, go ahead, vote for it, after months of saying it's Democrat hoax.
And threatening.
And threatening Marjorie Taylor Greene with the primary, threatening Thomas Massie with the primary, the most despicable slurs against both of them. And he's saying that in 2030, Trump won't be able to. I'm saying right now, Trump can't. I think Trump is, as Candace Owens said just a few weeks ago, the moment Trump ended MAGA was when he called you idiots and weak for wanting the Epstein files revealed. That was when it was over. So it was over then. It was over when he bombed Yemen. It was over when he bombed Iran at the behest of Israel. When he started deporting college students for writing articles critical of Israel. When he started to institute DEI for Jews on college campuses. When he started to institute hate speech laws to protect Zionists. When he flip-flopped on the H-1B visa and said we have to import workers to the United States so that Americans have to train those workers that are going to take their jobs. So they're not importing talent. They're importing people that need to be trained by Americans. So that was the last dagger, I think, into the MAGA base, was when he flipped on H-1B visas, sided with Vivek Ramaswamy, and screwed the American workers and lies about it that we need to import talent. You saw Laura Ingraham on Fox News completely push back against him on that. So Thomas Massie, I think, is overinflating Trump's power right now. In 10 months, Trump has completely wrecked his coalition, wrecked MAGA, wrecked his power. It's over. And it's not going to happen in 2030. It's happening right now, which is why we're going to get that vote to discharge those petitions, the Epstein. That's why that's happening. They're not afraid of Trump. It's over.
This vote, the record of this vote, will last longer than Donald Trump's presidency.
Yeah. Yeah. So, speaking to the BBC on Monday, Glenn Grothman, a Republican congressman on the House Oversight Committee, attempted to explain Trump's change of mind. He suggested the president felt that an ongoing systematic release of files by the committee would only fuel further speculation and distract from other topics such as Trump's budgetary plans. Trump viewed it as easier to simply let the press go nuts for a couple of days over the files, Grotham suggested. Wow. He is one moody guy, that Trump. 1 second he's defending the pedos, and the next day he's going after them. He's like tripolar. He'll try anything. Both Democrats and some Republicans have been backing legislation to release all the documents. Republican Representative Thomas Massie, co-sponsor of the bill, telling ABC News on Sunday that as many as 100 Republicans could vote in favor. And that's why Trump said, oh, yeah. So now you see Trump doesn't have the control he thought he once had. He certainly doesn't have the control he had in January or February or March. How many times could he stab MAGA in the back? Oh, by the way, he's exploding the deficit, and all those Doge cuts were a fake because they didn't cut any of that money from the federal budget. He just gave it to the weapons manufacturers and Palantir and the Pentagon. A Pentagon who cannot pass an audit. Trump gave $200 billion more, so that wiped out all the Doge savings. There were no Doge savings. So there's one thing after another thing after another thing. And
Jimmy, I'm curious, do you think that the Republicans, these 100 Republicans that would vote in favor, do you think they're doing that because they saw what just happened? Republicans lost? Or do you think this is, like they're really making a stand?
I don't think it helped. I don't think them losing helped, but I think that those losses were mostly over the healthcare cuts that Trump is implementing for workers. And when a lot of those are MAGA workers. And I think that had a lot to do with it. And even Trump admitted that the shutdown hurt the Republicans in the election. Trump said that. Known as the Epstein Files Transparency Act, the bill aims to force the Justice Department to release all unclassified records, documents, communications, and investigative materials linked to the pedo. So Trump would also have to sign off on the release of the documents if it passes both the House and the Senate. Trump's handling of the issue has led in recent days to a public feud with Marjorie Taylor Greene, traditionally one of his fiercest proponents. The U.S. president attacked her on Friday, calling her wacky and a traitor, and suggested that she should be unseated in next year's election. Wow. Again, Trump with the cartoon level of exaggeration, calling her a traitor. When you get on his bad side, he goes full Zio hyperbole on your ass. You know how wacky traitors are, right? What a bunch of goofballs those traitors are. Marjorie Taylor Greene, in turn, questioned whether Trump was still putting America first and said he was making an example of her to scare other Republicans away from voting in favor of the bill to discharge all the Epstein files. Meanwhile, the U.S. Department of Justice has confirmed it will investigate Epstein's alleged links to major banks, several prominent Democrats, including former President Clinton. Clinton also strongly denied he had any knowledge of Epstein crimes. Of course, Clinton denied any knowledge of Epstein's crimes. He didn't know anything about it. He was too busy getting a back rub from a schoolgirl to pay attention. Kyle Griffin says Trump now says Republicans can vote to release the Epstein files. He never urged Republicans to support the discharge petition. He never demanded Mike Johnson swear in Adelita Gravalia. But now, after reports indicate 100+ GOPers are planning to support their release, he caves. So what that shows you is if you stick to the MAGA principles, Trump will cave. So Trump has been gaslighting MAGA since he became president. He's gaslighting them on H-1B worker visas, screwing workers. He's gaslighting them on exploding the deficit and Doge. He's gaslighting them on being America first. He's Israel first, which is why he bombed Yemen and Iran. And he's still funding the genocide in Gaza. And he's still funding Ukraine, the thing he's going to end in 24 hours. He's deporting students for writing. So anyway, it's over. And that's it. Trump caves. Thomas Massie wins. So we'll see you. Hey, if you'd like to hear my jokes about this, and I got plenty, I'll see you in Pottstown, Pennsylvania, December 6th. January 11th in Waikiki, Hawaii at the Blue Note Theater. It's beautiful right on the beach in Waikiki. And then January 30th, we'll be at the Comedy Store in Los Angeles. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for tickets. Over to Steph.
And, I want to say one thing about the shows that are coming up. You can put camera 4 beside me. We've had friends that go, I should really make sure to do a mixer or whatever, like during our shows, because there are a lot of like-minded people in that audience. If you're feeling like, I have a couple friends that come and go, oh my God, this is a perfect place to meet somebody. Yeah, I know it sounds crazy, but we all feel so isolated with our politics right now. And when you come to these shows, it's like everybody, all this complete spectrum, that are coming to our shows, and it's fun. And the people are really. I'm looking forward to it. Really looking forward. We're going to Australia. Crazy. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Peace R5U. Jimmy Dore is intelligent and tells the truth of the matter. Oh, look at you, Peace. Thank you for that. Hope you're feeling better, Jimmy. Full and Lynn Swallow. Sorry to hear about your tooth, Jimmy. Do you grind your teeth in your sleep and subconsciously?
I used to.
I do.
I used to.
I do, and I had a cracked one as well, doing Invisalign since it will fix my bite and acts as a mouth guard. Yeah, you know what, mouth guard. I wonder if your dentist thinks you should have a mouth guard.
I used to, and right around 1999 is when I started grinding my teeth.
Is that 1999.
I moved here in 95, and it was really stressful. Because you don't know what's going to happen. I didn't know if I was going to have to go back to Chicago and get a job. I didn't know. I didn't know if it was going to work out. And when you're in Los Angeles and you're in Hollywood, no matter how much you succeed, there's a million people doing better than you, so it makes you feel like you're not succeeding. Even though I was on any metrics, I was succeeding by my own metrics.
I didn't even know you at the time that I would see you on late night TV.
She would see me on TV.
Yeah, I was like, oh my God, there he is.
So I was on NBC 5, 6, 7 times. NBC. I was on Comedy Central, A&E. I was on CBS. I was on a lot of late night shows, and I was still worried about my career. And my calendar wasn't full. I was worried about money. I was living hand to mouth, even though I was on television. And so I started grinding my teeth and cracking my teeth left and right. I cracked at least 3 or 4 molars. And so then I got root canals and whatever. And so now the root canals are cracking. But I don't think I grind my teeth anymore. You've never heard me grind my teeth, right?
I've never.
Yeah.
I've never heard you grind your teeth. I didn't even know that you had grind your teeth. I used to grind my teeth.
Yep.
All right, here we go. Sorry to hear about your tooth. That's really nice. Contract, Rook. Now make me laugh, funny man. Oh, aggressive. Would you be willing to have David Icke as a guest? Rion.
Yes.
The answer you heard right here.
Yeah.
Savage. In for the scolding. He doesn't need a vote. He can release them on his own right now. Warrior. Steph and Jimmy, please wish longtime fan of show, Jason Simmons, a happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Jason Simmons.
Happy birthday. Hold on. You get a big gong for that one. For you, Jason. Rorschach says, Pelosi does a great impression of Steph doing an impression of Pelosi. Shut up. You shut up. Oh, my gosh. She just doesn't, I guess she doesn't give a shit after being a gazillionaire. No insider trading here to notice. All right, Life is Good, my favorite channel. That's sweet. I said it last night on DD, and even if Biden had sat on the Epstein files, Trump campaigned to release them for fuck's sake. Contract Rook.
Okay.
Back to Jim.